I have done a post about EFT being used as a form of manifestation. I've seen that used, and I did sort of say that it's kind of the equivalent of using CBT or any other form of therapy as a manifestation tool. But what it does do, EFT, is address the negative. Even though I still love and accept myself. So even though I have this limiting thing in my life, I still love and accept myself. I have this negative thing, but I still positively want to have better for myself. If there are things in our life that are creating a roadblock to whatever we view as abundance or whatever we view as what we're trying to bring into our life, sometimes it is addressing, or pretty much all the time, is addressing what we need to do in order to get what we want. There is a mentality of just being a magnet sort of thing, but I guess it's the strength of your polarity that makes a magnet, the positive and the negative. And how do you amplify that if you're a little bit depleted in energy? With manifestation, now we tend to focus more on the good aspects of manifestation. When I was a somatic breath instructor, like, you'd set the intention, you would use all your senses to basically live in the here and now of your goal. Even though it hasn't happened yet, you would do all your breathing, breath hold, and then that would somehow bring in your future a little bit closer. I guess in a way of like feeling into what is your future, what you want in your life is good, but there is a spanner in the works that never quite sat well with me, or with, not just with that technique, but with any sort of like manifestation technique where that may be involved, or even a vision board, for example, of like all the things that I see for myself that I want to focus my attention on. It focuses on what we want rather than why we are wanting it. And sometimes the why of what we're wanting it may actually open up a whole can of worms of that it might actually not be what I want, because what I want may be directly in correlation to what I lack. And what I lack may be in correlation to some past trauma. When I want something, it's because I don't have it. I lack it. I want to be rich and famous. I want a mansion. I want a pretty partner. I want a fast car. I want to be happy. Whatever it is, sort of thing. I want more friends. Whatever it is. And what we're desiring is directly correlating to what we're lacking. Similar back to the EFT statement, even though I have no friends, I still love and accept myself. And then we start addressing why that might be. Similar with EFT, there is something called the apex effect. There are times where, definitely when you fill out the consent form, in that is like, what do you want to work on, like 3 goals sort of thing. And have been clients where they've actually achieved their goal and not been consciously aware of it, because they're subconsciously doing the action, or they're not currently aware that they're doing the action that used to be limiting in their life, because we've addressed those subconscious fears that have limited them, that have been causing them fears. I can envision, I've got quite an imagination, I can envision myself in a number of roles. The only way I can actually achieve those roles is by doing the work involved to actually bring that in. What stops us from actually creating what we're envisioning is the actual action, but there is also the magnetic effect of it needs to come to me. There's that point where there is that internal work that still needs to be done to even sustain the life of what you're wanting to bring in. Think about if you do get the mansion, or you do get the $1 million, or you do get the girl sort of thing. Can you maintain that mansion? Can you maintain the life that you want? Can you maintain that relationship based upon current situations within your life? So sometimes, even though we might achieve what we want, it's sustaining, having the lifestyle already in place to maintain or sustain what we're actually wanting, what we're lacking. Now, the spanner in the works is what we're desiring from a point of trauma. And if we get what we want, will we actually be able to know if that's actually what we want or not? when we want to be the celebrity, whether we want to be the enlightened, seen as the enlightened person, whether we want to be the person that has no financial issues sort of thing, because if I wanted to be seen as the big people, it could be just about I was never accepted. I never got accepted as a child. My view was never seen. I was never seen. Now I want to be seen. Money, I want abundant money because money was a form of abuse when I was younger sort of thing. You were never seen as valued unless you earned a lot of money. So if I have all this abundant money, I'm now of worth. My self-worth is now of worth. If I have the title of enlightened, people can go, wow, he's like Neo from the Matrix. Once again, to be seen, to be valued. So sometimes when we actually think about what we want to achieve, when we get that, we might go, well, this is not what I want. The other side of it is you might be a person that goes, well, I kind of want to deal with my issues. I want to see why my behaviors are the way they are. Maybe go into a bit of trauma therapy, whatever it is. And lo and behold, I wanted acceptance from being seen and heard, and I was chasing a lifestyle of that. I wanted to be the big workaholic because I was escaping the pain of what was going on in my life. And now I just want to go sit in the woods or have a simple life where what I earn is enough to support me or my family or whatever sort of thing. And that's enough for me, and whatever people view of that will be their own perceptions of me. Addressing the internal issues rather than what feels good, in the sense of like, if I had all this great stuff sort of thing. Sometimes it's looking at the not so great stuff, and then we start to get a more authentic view of what we want in our life, rather than sort of being gassed up and filled with that light. And it's like, because it almost felt like the golden child treatment. You're awesome, you're fantastic. It's like it was doing my head in. It's like I've received that, so it felt very hard to say. There is time for like positive words and affirmations sort of thing. We don't always want to dwell in the negative, but there's a point where it just feels like golden child treatment, where we want to start addressing our issues to actually know what we want, know ourselves, know is what we want as a result of what we lacked, and is what we're lacking a form of abuse. Have awareness that we have some ouchies in our body that aren't our fault, but how we care for ourselves, how we nurture ourselves, we might get a better relationship with ourselves. I was disassociating from my body. I was not associating with my experiences. So I was bringing myself back with my body so I can navigate myself a little bit more freely through life, and not be confined within that fear, to assert my boundaries, to know when it is actually appropriate to have doors surrounding my heart or being closed, because that was my way of surviving, my way of protecting myself. And I can't be asked to actually open my heart. I just need to be able to develop within myself. Same with anyone. You can't ask someone to heal a bit quicker. There's no timeline sort of thing. So being able to develop oneself when oneself is ready. And when you develop yourself, you might find that the goals that you're manifesting, whether they're a result of consumerism as well, be this great person that has all these things sort of thing, and then we can market you a bit more. Was it that, or is it, there's some things I'll say yes to, some things I'll say no to, because I know myself a little bit better through healing from my experiences, and now I know what I want. And the only way I'll know if it's for me is to go through the steps of achieving that. And I might get to the end of the journey and go, this is for me, or I might have acquired other things along my journey, or gone on another way, because we have our right to change our minds. So I'm down from Eflowtion Support Services, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'm going to walk back to the car and have some dinner. So I'll catch you then. Bye.